Hey everybody. Our Tuesday Facebook Live was postponed till today because of ice storm. I know many of you listening or watching are probably still without power. We lost power at the shop yesterday, and so we didn't even bother to come in, which is probably good because it's kind of treacherous out there. It's not that the roads got so icy, it's just falling tree limbs everywhere. I'm sure your neighborhood's like mine. It looks like there's been a tree war zone. But we're back at the shop today. It's just me. Sophia came in case, phone rings, so I can at least do my Facebook Live and talk to you guys. Jeannie's home without power, dealing with that. So I'm going to have to self-film today. I don't have my trusty camera lady, but we'll make do. Okay, I got some exciting stuff today for you. Well, kind of exciting. I told you guys earlier this summer we had something really to look forward to in October, and that was the release of the official Outlander Knitting book, which we were so excited about. And it actually came out yesterday. And you might notice I've been kind of quiet about it. Well, there's kind of a reason why. We're going to have to chalk this up to another 2020 thing that didn't quite meet our expectations. I have been pacing back and forth throughout the first part of the month trying to get information because we planned on it being a big deal. Lots of kits to offer, things like that. And we kept waiting for pictures so we can at least, do what we need to do on the back end to get the information up for the projects in the Outlander book. Kept waiting. Sony Pictures is involved. This is the first official publication that they've ever done. Kept waiting. Finally got the preview. And Jeannie and I were both really sad. So we kind of waited. We thought maybe when we get the book, we'll get a little more excited. I'll show you what we mean. See how you feel about it. So here's the new book, Outlander Knitting, with picture of Claire on the front. We'll go through some of these projects and see how you feel about them. See, so far all my, this one's not bad. This is the Gathering Cape. And that's okay. That one looks pretty nice. It's based off of this cape. I think that the yarn that they used isn't quite exactly what I would have picked. I mean, it's close. That's probably the best one. We let off with the best one. That's not bad. Okay. Go to the next one. Okay, so the shawl on the front. This is their interpretation of it. And the styling on these, I think, is just, I'm sorry, it's just bad. And I'm not really a fan of the yarn choice for this one as well. Number one, I would not have put it on this girl with the red shirt. I'm trying to look past the styling and the photography, which I think was a miss. This doesn't look right. To me, this needs to be in a tweed. I'm thinking Rowan Felda tweed, not these clear colors. I don't know. Like I said, I don't quite get that one. Okay, now, this is where I was the most disappointed, is that many of the projects in this book have nothing to do with any knitwear whatsoever in the series. It's inspired by. And that's not what I signed up for. Here's Mrs. Fitz's arm warmers, which is just a regular little fingerless mitt. You're like, okay, well, here's the one she actually wears. I mean, the only thing to me that and this have in common is they are both fingerless arm warmers. Any similarity beyond that is lost. So I think you could do any fingerless mitt and call it inspired by Outlander by that one. Here's some socks. They're nice. Not in the book, inspired by something. I was inspired by this dress. Don't quite get that one. We'll keep going. Get the full preview of the book with my opinions, which I'm known to have. River Run Shawl. Okay, so here's this shawl. Red and white, kind of Christmassy. If you need a Christmas shawl, maybe this would be a decent pattern. And you're like, I never saw Claire wear a shawl like that. Well, it's because you didn't, but she wore this dress. So apparently this dress inspired that shawl, and it's okay. Here's a tam. Nobody in the book wears a tam like this. It was inspired by a shawl or a shield, but it's a nice tam pattern. I'll give him that. Okay, now we get into, this is a capelet cowl. Let's start with what it's supposed to be. This is what we're going for. Kind of a rustic, chunky cowl. We get this. To me, that's just not even in the same, they wrap around your neck, but they don't look anything alike. Clan McKenzie boot socks. Again, we never actually see their socks, but here's some socks. It's a nice sock pattern, but it doesn't really, other than called Clan McKenzie. This is inspired by Jamie's tartan with the pop of teal. Okay, let's look at Jamie's tartan first. Here's the tartan. Okay. I mean, the colors aren't even right. I don't know. So you have some, and it has a cowl to go with it too. I don't get a tartan colors out of that one. Okay, here's a capelet. It's a pretty capelet. It's nice. Claire never wears a capelet, anything like this. This is not any piece of knitwear from the book. It's inspired by this. And as far as I can tell, the only thing they have in common is being yellow and a capelet. Let me find the next one. Okay, then we have this lace shawl. It's pretty. It's even though it's knit with the lace weight, it's not a real fine lace. And again, what is this inspired by? This is a beautiful lightweight piece of lace. It's large and what I think of with a lightweight shawl. This piece that they did, it's not even, I mean, I don't get it. They're nothing alike. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is the one where I think is probably the biggest miss of all. This is the one that had Jeannie and I scratching our heads. So there's these wristlet, these little mitts. You're like, those are kind of different. No, Claire does not wear those, but Claire wears this dress. And I don't get it. I don't get that one at all. Okay, now we get into garments. Okay, now this vest here is probably one that comes closer to matching something in the book. But the colors and the yarn are all wrong. See, I mean, I'm sure the patterning for the Fair Isle's right. This picture isn't real clear, but it needs to be a tweedy yarn in those kind of, muted colors, not these clear baby blue. I mean, totally different look. It doesn't look anything like, to me, it looks like what happens when you change the colors from what the book's supposed to look like, and it doesn't quite work out. Okay, there's some beautiful pictures of Claire and Jamie. You get your Outlander fix, don't get me wrong. They have a lot of information in here about the costuming, about the series. So if you're an Outlander fan, you're getting the book, there's that. But if you're looking to make things exactly from the book, okay. So here's a cardigan. And again, it's close. It is actually something Claire wears. Let me find a picture of Claire in it. Okay, here's Claire in the cardigan in the library with that on. But the color's different, which is fine. It's a bright red. Let me find the picture of the cardigan here so we can compare. But I mean, this thing does not even fit her. I mean, look how long the sleeve is. It's way oversized. Claire would never wear anything that baggy. So to me, the styling on some of these just kind of ruins it. So that one probably can look like Claire if you make it the right size. Now, granted, that may be the size you want to wear it. You may not want it real fitted like the style was in the series, but it's just too big. So it kind of is a hit and a miss at the same time. The same thing goes here for this Randall Fraser sweater. We'll go back to that one just a minute. Let me get the picture of her daughter in it. Okay, here it is in the series. And again, it's very, very close. And she looks so nice in that. But when you go back here to this, it is falling off her shoulder. Look how baggy it is under the armhole. I mean, it's like she's got on someone else's sweater. The fit on this is horrible. That's not how it looks in the series. This sweater needs to be more fitted. Let's see. Oh, this is the one that we saw this from the preview, and it totally had a scratch in her hand. This is Jamie's waistcoat. And I've watched all the series, and I can tell you, Jamie doesn't wear anything that dorky ever. I thought, is this just a bad interpretation? I don't ever remember Jamie wearing anything like that. Well, because he never did. This is what Jamie wears. As you can tell, it is absolutely, it's a waistcoat, but it's not knitted. It doesn't have that squared neck. It's not even the same. Of course, Jamie could make anything look great, but that sweater is not a Jamie sweater. Okay. Library vest. Okay. Let me find picture Claire first. Hold on. Too many pages to flip through. Here's Claire in her library vest. Very pretty cable, simple cable at the front. It's fitted and it just falls right below her waist, right? Okay, here's what we get. That's too big, it's too long, it looks horrible with the green. The color's not even the same. Like I said, I think this is one, again, that you could make if you could get the Claire-esque out of it if you wanted to, but the styling is just awful. Okay, here we go. Home decor. Here's a tea cozy. Yeah, no knitted tea cozies in the series. Another inspired by. They don't use a knitted tea cozy. This is a baby blanket that's supposed to look like they're tartan, and it doesn't to me. I mean, that's got bright turquoise in it. I don't know if it's a photography issue. Here's another picture of it, but it doesn't look like tartan to me at all. And turquoise is not the same as a pretty teal green. And I think this is the last one. This is Hork Scarf and Blanket. And again, you're like, what's this about? Here's what it's inspired by. And as you can see, the only thing they have in common is they're both gray. And I think that's the end of the book. So we are so disappointed by this. I mean, horribly disappointed. And I hope to have better news, but I guess Outlander goes the way of the rest of 2020, a total miss. What's sad is this is the official book. This is the only one that's been sanctioned by Sony. In fact, Sony has caught wind of the knitting world, and anybody out there trying to put out Outlander things, they're going to come after them legally because they own that name. So this is as good as it gets. Like I said, there's several things in there. I think that we can use the pattern and with some yarn choices and maybe some better size choices. Fit, I'd say at least half the book has absolutely nothing to do with the knitwear in Outlander. I guess in my mind, if it's going to be the official book, perhaps they would reach out, work with the costume designers, see the actual pieces. But that's not what happened. I mean, you and I could have done this just looking at the screen or just making stuff up in our head that we think looks like some dress Claire wore. And probably, I would probably do a better job. But I don't know. But we have them, if you're a diehard Outlander fan, you will probably still enjoy the book. There is a lot of good, just good read in there. But as far as knitting things that look like what Claire and Jamie and the rest wear, not so much. Wish I had better news today. I've got some exciting things coming in once we, start getting back to normal here. For those of you who aren't in the central Oklahoma area, we have had a horrible ice storm. It started Monday afternoon, naturally in the middle of Keith and I trying to go to a funeral in an ice storm. That wasn't a lot of fun. His business has been without power since Monday morning, which is bad. That's super bad because he is an essential business. He owns a auto parts store, and the community really relies on him during bad weather to make things happen. And he can't make a hose. He's just really, struggling out there. Even our grocery store had no power. So we need those people back on. A lot of people out their homes without power. It's getting cold, really cold. I mean, it's starting to warm up, but being 40 isn't helpful when you've had no heat for 3 days. Trees, I don't know if we're gonna have a tree survive this. The trees are so bad. I actually started to get out and come and open the shop because as long as I can get here, we're open. We don't follow school closing. That's really irrelevant to me. But I'm usually here, and the way that it goes, if you ever want to know what our inclement weather policy is, I look out the window. I call my husband because, like I said, he has to be at work even when, if we have a bunch of snow. I say, hey, what are the roads like? And he usually tell me, oh, they're not that bad, or no one's out, roads are awful, stay home. I'm like, okay. And then he told me the roads are fine. And so I looked on our cameras that we have, I have them out front on the sidewalk, and I see people walking up and down the sidewalk. Because that's usually the other problem, is we have back steps in the back that are elevated, and our sidewalk is the last to melt. And I don't know, I'm getting too old to want to slide and break bones on icy sidewalk. But they were fine. So I'm like, hey, there's no reason to not be at work, I'm going. But then the power went out at the shop. I get notifications, and then tree limbs started falling. It's a good thing I didn't leave. We'd probably been crushed by a tree. We have huge, huge trees in our front yard, and they're still dangling. Our neighbor, his whole yard and driveway covered with trees. I mean, it's just horrible. Even driving here, you have to drive around tree limbs, and it's bad. It's going to take a while to get recovered from this. But we're here, we're open, we're warm. If you need to just come warm up because you don't have any heat, come on in. We'll be here. I think we'll stay all day. We'll be here till 5. I've got some exciting things coming in soon, I hope. Some things from Rowan, from Sirdar, and from my little jaunt to Dallas last week. At least I got road tripping out of my system. I like to go places. I like to vacation, like to go on road trips. And so Mason and I went to market. You may have saw my Facebook Live from the apparel market. And it was dead. Everything's dead. There's nothing to do. Everything's closed. It was real Snoresville. So I guess I'm happy staying put for the winter season, rest of the fall and winter. At least there'll be some knitting to do. Well, I'm sorry that our Outlander book turned out to be such a bust. We are so sad, but never fear. A lot of more exciting things will be coming your way. I may pop in later this week when we get our stuff in that I'm looking forward to. I think I have some shipments coming tomorrow, and I can show you those. So watch me popping in later with something hopefully more exciting to tell you about. Stay warm, and hope you have power soon. Bye.